that an axe?
This is an axe. It's a very
It's the
old
Max
axe.
axe.
This was in my dad's stuff, because my dad was a noted archaeologist.
Your dad was
So
real
this
cool.
axe is incredibly rusted and out of some dig site. It's in his office somewhere. The segment with Allison talking about Utsi was hit very home for me, because my dad did a bunch of work on Utsi. Yeah. Including identifying what a number of his tools were from the residues on them, and figuring out that he had been shot by some arrow at some point.
Wasn't your dad? I saw one of your dad's citations in a paper that was like, yeah, no, he had the blood of like 5 different people on him.
Yeah.
And also, how would a caveman react to eating peanut butter?
Yep. There's also that. I mean, what's the cutoff for cavemen, actually? Because he was definitely Bronze Age, I think. Because his
I
axe
don't
was
think Skippy
axe
was
had a,
founded until like the 60s.
I think once they turn 30, they become a stone man.
Like,
And-
didn't Otzi have, like, willow bark? Wasn't he chewing on willow bark to dull the pain of a,
It's not the
abscess
same
tooth?
thing as peanut butter.
he was
Cameron.
definitely chewing on a number of different things. One of the big bits of research was figuring out what his diet was and how they prepared food and stuff. That's what a lot of the tool analysis was for like, this is a skinning thing, this is for mashing up grains. There was a whole thing around extracting bits out of his stomach to figure out what his last meal was, which turns out it was like oat-based grain stuff. Not particularly surprising, but we confirmed it. I talked about this last year, I think, on Desert Bus, but he had around 60 tattoos across his body in various lines and cross patterns, and the thought is that they were medicinal because they're across joint areas and in traditional Chinese acupuncture places. A lot of stuff in the lower
Interesting.
back and the backs of his legs and stuff, where you could in the mummy you can see those joints having deteriorated, and then over top of them you can see tattoos.
That's really cool.
Yeah, Cameron, you
Cool.
should do a Google Scholar search.
Mhm.
I was reading some abstracts like last week, and it would be extremely your bus.
Yeah.
Does
Also, my dad is the only legitimate citation for Jurassic Park, and probably the reason that book got written.
cool. Is
So-
JSTOR still doing its
That's-
free access thing?
Rad.
I don't know. I couldn't get into
My dad is-
much.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My dad is
I've
mentioned
lost
by
it.
name in both the movie and the book, by last
wow.
name at least.
That's so cool.
That's so cool.
Wild.
That's
There's
so cool.
When they're in the video segment where they're explaining how everything works, and there's like the little animated.
Pal, DNA.
Yeah. There's a bit where they turn to each other and they go, but the Loy extraction method never returned complete results. And that's the thing that my dad came up with.
Molecular archaeology.
Yep. Figuring out what old things are by what DNA is on it.
Neat.
And like a lot of molecular analysis of dyes was a lot of his publications that I saw.
That's entirely possible. A lot of it is still fairly over my head, even having grown up with it.
The Loy extraction method is such a good name for a bluegrass band. I just need to let you know that.
Do it. Make it happen.
Print that on a drum head.
The band name that I'm holding on to is the Johnson Street Murder.
Cool.
Which one?
Yeah.
Well, it's named after the murder of crows that comes out every night.
That's yeah.
Oh,
That's good. That's
They
good.
make their way over my neighborhood, I think, when they've done their business down there.
That's a good name for like a marching band or like something that like busks around town, sort of an itinerant, because you never know where the murder's going to be.